We've come a long way from talking about wrestling and then wrestling toys and now society. But as a whole, collecting toys I think is pretty cool because, you know, the thrill when you're a kid. No, I'll tell you right now why I love collecting toys, and it's going to sound really philosophical. And it's one of the reasons why I do this. And it's totally a shoot. It's not a work. It's totally a shoot. But sometimes in life, when you have hardship, when things don't go your way, and when you're not the type of person you remember in your head that you were, or that you think you are, or that you want to be, you need to go back in your mind and remember when you were that person, when you had that feeling that you felt great about yourself, and anything you can do to reconnect with that instant, that maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, last week, whenever it was in your life. That little moment, instant, you felt great. There's always going to be a song surrounding that. There's always going to be something in the background, a toy, perhaps, a scent, an image. And even if it's 30 years later, whatever you can do to reconnect to that moment, that instant that you felt great, well, automatically you'll be back to that moment and you will feel great. And eventually you'll start to re-found that person. And a couple years ago, I started doing this. And that's why you hear a jovial Kevin ever since then, a couple years ago.
And it's funny, I don't know what it is for me. And that's actually pretty good advice, Kevin, because I've been kind of searching for that for a long time, because I don't know what it is for me. And maybe for me, it will be collecting wrestling toys or something along those lines. So I will make it my goal this year to find out what that is, and I like that because that's a great way to put
And
it.
it's a weird way because there's something weird with the generation of people of our age, and it's not just me, it's not just you, it's not just our common friends we see on Facebook that post those kinds of things. We're a generation that's been more introspective than the one prior, and a lot more than the one that's coming up. But we're longing for something. We're all nostalgic. We're all looking for something
Mm-hmm.
that we missed, and wrestling is one of those things. And it's just like something. We all feel something just left, and it isn't coming back. I think the soul of the planet is gone. I know that sounds really esoterical, but what I mean is, I don't find meaning in stuff anymore, and that's why sometimes I need to go back and look and listen to things that had meaning, even if that meaning was simple or for simpletons. Still, when it makes sense, sometimes it makes the world make sense.
I wish there was a way, Kevin, you could. I wish there was a way you could tell that you were in the good old days before you've actually left them. You know what I
Yeah, but
mean?
then it wouldn't be the good old days.
That's just it. You never know
Remember when
because
your kid
it's
said,
funny.
"Hey, you remember this when you're older? You'll wish you enjoyed it." Well, fuck, they were fucking right.
And it's funny because like right now I'll look back on 15 years ago when I was in high school. I'm like, oh, those were the best days. I love those days. And it's funny, in 20 or 30 years, I'll look back on the times. I'm like, oh, fuck, I remember when Kevin and I were doing the podcast. That was so much fun. It's funny. Whatever. You always look back on everything with rose colored glasses.